Hello there, you're watching Epicenter on CNN News 18. I'm Maha Siddiqui, starting the show with some breaking news that is coming in. Sources tell CNN News 18 that the Prime Minister will interact virtually with the healthcare workers tomorrow about the vaccination drive. This comes at a time when India is likely to achieve the target of 150 crore vaccines that have been already given to the population. Payal Mehta is joining us with more details. Payal, what more information do you have with regards to this virtual interaction that the Prime Minister will have? Is it to encourage healthcare workers to further get people out and help them get vaccinated?
Maha, it's a very important milestone that India is looking to achieve, which is 150 crore vaccines, which also includes 2 crore vaccines that have been administered on youth between 15 to 18 years of age as well. So as we celebrate this milestone, like always, the Prime Minister will be interacting with the healthcare workers, remember, who've been at the forefront of getting people vaccinated. They've been out and about at the risk of their own lives, basically trying to get as many people vaccinated as much as possible. The centre has also launched a Har Ghar Dastak campaign by which, they're accessing the most difficult terrains of the country to make sure that people get vaccinated. So as a mark of respect to them, as a mark of appreciation to them, they're given to understand that the Prime Minister will be holding this initiative virtually. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia will also be part of this particular meeting, which is slated to take place at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
All right, Payal Mehta, thanks for joining us with those details. Let's move on now to our discussion. Night curfew for you and I, weekend lockdowns and no entry in public places without vaccination. But our politicians seem exempt from all this as they continue to hold massive rallies. However, the outrage by the public, the Aam Janata, over these political gatherings amidst the pandemic is finally pushing the netas to act. The Congress party has announced it won't hold any public gatherings in Uttar Pradesh. Chief Minister of UP, Yogi Adityanath, cancelled a rally in Noida, and Samajwadi Party will not take forward its Vijay Rath Yatra for the time being. Even as the Election Commission is still to provide any guidelines over campaigning under the shadow of Omicron, Uttar Pradesh seems to be gearing up for alternatives. Realistically, how far will the parties be able to abide by this self-restraining move? And in a democracy with a large rural population, will the digital divide make such campaigns lopsided? Discussing all these aspects this evening on Epicenter. So what are the pros and cons of digital rallies? Can they be an alternative to a leader meeting people in public face to face and making those promises that they do? For instance, in a digital rally, essential COVID protocols will be maintained because obviously you're not coming in contact with anyone. However, it fails to communicate to the grassroots workers, the supporters, even the voters, because you're not able to come face to face with them. It avoids any mass flouting of COVID protocols since there'll be no people obviously present there. There is no question of not being able to maintain social distancing. But the con is that it fails to energize the party cadre and local voters because the meeting, the personal energy of a neta or a politician is important when it comes to campaigning. Checks COVID spread during election season. This is the most important reason why most of the people believe that rallies, big public gatherings should be shunned at the moment because we are in the midst of a pandemic. But this will limit personal connect from the star campaigners with the voters, and largely many of the political parties, they rely on their star campaigners to be able to energize the voters, to be able to gather more votes, so to speak. Meanwhile, it also limits money power by creating a level playing field. That is one of the aspects of digital campaigning. But the con is that it can be it can impact the urban-rural divide as the net access in some places may not be that great, people may not log in, and how to get that message to people that there is a digital campaign on, they need to log in, listen to the star campaigner. All those aspects clearly are something that the parties will have to look into. Whether this will provide a level playing field under the Omicron threat, is this the only option left before the political parties? All these aspects will be discussed threadbare in Epicenter this evening. Joining me on the show, Ghanshyam Tiwari, Samajwadi Party spokesperson, will also be joined by Indrajit Singh, senior leader of the RLD. Vijay Shankar Pandey, former bureaucrat, will join us here on the show as well. Dr. Anshul Avijit of the Congress Party is here with us. Shaina NC, spokesperson of the BJP, with us as well. Let me first go across to Shaina NC. Shaina, do you believe that it is time for political parties to give up these public rallies, and is that even possible at a large scale?
Well, in all honesty, yes, elections are the festival of democracy. But as our Honorable Prime Minister said, and as the Supreme Court noticed, jaan hai to jahan hai. So in this kind of a scenario where we do have a variant which is spreading as fast as and as rampantly in every nook and corner, obviously safety of our people is the most important. And our Honorable Prime Minister had requested the Health Secretary to meet with the Election Commission and come up with the guidelines. And like a responsible party, we are going to adhere to all the guidelines set out by the Election Commission. Having said that, I did want to make one limited point, Maha. Every responsibility is not that of the government alone. It is that of the citizens too. And it is that of civil society too. Yes, every cadre and every karyakarta do want to see their strong leaders, their most popular leaders. And in this case, our Honorable Prime Minister, it's a moment that one remembers for life. But obviously, these are challenging times. And that's why the Honorable Prime Minister cancelled the rally in Uttar Pradesh, as did Yogi Adityanath. So I think that we will adhere to whatever guidelines are set up by the Election Commission, but does it hamper the process of democracy, or does it demoralize the cadre? In all honesty, I think that the cadre does look forward to elections where they interact with their leaders, where they get charged up, and the situation is different. I'm sure people are also smart enough to understand ki jaan hai to jahan hai.
All right, let me also go across to RLD leader Indrajit Singh, who's joining us here on the show. Indrajit Singh, RLD ने क्या कोई डिसीजन अभी तक लिया है? क्या वो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ऐसी बड़ी गैदरिंग्स अभी इस वक्त रोकेंगे?
मैं बिल्कुल 100% आपको कह सकता हूं कि हमारे नेता बिल्कुल एग्री हैं। जो कोर्ट का आदेश होगा, जो माहौल होगा, हमारे लिए आदमी की जान पहले। चुनाव तो हर साल किसी ना किसी चीज के आएंगे। कभी विधानसभा के चुनाव आएंगे, कभी लोकसभा के चुनाव आएंगे, कभी जिला पंचायत के आएंगे। हमने अपने के बीच से जाते हुए देखा है। आपने जिसके ऊपर मॉनिटरिंग करनी है, जिसके ऊपर राज करना है, अगर आपके पास जनता ही नहीं है और जनता जिसके ऊपर रूलिंग, जिसने वोट करा है, वो आप उनके काम नहीं आना, उन्होंने आपके काम नहीं आना, तो किसके लिए?
लेकिन इंद्रजीत जी, अभी तक हमने देखा है समाजवादी पार्टी ने अपनी विजय रथ यात्रा कैंसिल कर दी है, उत्तर प्रदेश के चीफ मिनिस्टर ने अपनी एक रैली कैंसिल कर दी है, कांग्रेस पार्टी ने बोला है कि वो कोई भी बड़ी सभा नहीं करेंगे। आरएलडी की तरफ से कोई ऐसा आश्वासन नहीं आया है।
देखिए, मैं बताऊं आपको, जहां तक मेरी संज्ञान में आ रहा है, मेरे हिसाब से शायद मैं ठीक होना चाहिए कि आज समाजवादी पार्टी ने भी अपनी रथ यात्रा रोक दी है जी। आप इसको करेक्ट कर लीजिए, और अभी कुछ चंद मिनटों के अंदर हमारी सीट का डिवाइडेशन डिक्लेयर होना है। दोनों हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष करने जा रहे हैं, उसमें सीटों का बंटवारा होगा। उसमें आज जरूर दोनों हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष बैठ रहे, इस मुद्दे पर उनकी जरूर बात हुई होगी, क्योंकि सबके लिए इस टाइम जो प्रायोरिटी है वो आदमी की, इंसान की जान है। क्योंकि 84 लाख जोनी जीने के बाद आदमी को मानवता का जीवन मिलता है, इतनी जल्दी से इसको गवाया नहीं जाएगा। और ये पहले हम इसके दुष्परिणाम देख चुके हैं, पर मेरे को बिल्कुल आशा ही नहीं, उम्मीद है कि हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी इसको फॉलो करेंगे और वो इसी चीज पे लागू करेंगे जो हमारे को कोर्ट कहेगी। और जिसमें हमारी मानवता की बचाव।
इस पे इलेक्शन कमीशन को कोई रुख लेना पड़ेगा. Vijay Shankar Pandey, I want to come to you on that count. Why has the election commission delayed this decision? Because political parties are themselves now looking at giving up these big political rallies. Shouldn't the election commission have come out with guidelines looking at the Omicron threat?
Maha, let's understand, till such time the election commission announces the dates of polls, it has no role to play at all in managing the health issues or any other issue, law and order issue, any such thing. So, the day they announce the dates, from then onwards, they have all the role to play. They have the right to determine how many people will be attending the rallies or whether the rallies will be held or not, whether the leaders will be allowed to travel across the states or not. It can only be determined, it can only be directed by Election Commission after they have announced the dates. So at present, Election Commission doesn't have any role to play. You recall that, when the Chief Election Commissioner and his team of, members had visited Uttar Pradesh, he was asked the same question. And he had replied exactly the same way, that till such time we announce the dates of the poll, we have no role to play. They can only, sensitize the state administration and state parties. They had held series of meetings. They had a series of meetings with the political parties. They have met all the officials of all the state governments, and they must have told them to be very careful and look at the health scenario first, and then only take care of the other issues or election rallies and all.
All right. So why I asked you, sir, this question? Why I asked you this question was because whenever over the past 1 week this question was posed to the political parties as to whether they will give up these big political rallies which could be super spreaders, they have constantly said that let election commission decide, because there should be a level playing field, and therefore even though the model code of conduct may not have kicked in because the dates were not announced, there was this onus on the election commission because they are responsible for the entire election process and campaigning as well. Anshul Avijit, coming to you over here, do you believe that the election commission has delayed this decision and the political parties have themselves then stepped up and taken a call?
Well, first of all, the Congress party has made a categorical decision not to go ahead with big rallies because they think that they can be super spreaders, they can be breeding grounds for the virus, and we know how explosive the virus is becoming. I mean, we've decided to go for nukkards and small meetings, and it's all a fluid situation. Even that can stop if the movement from the ground, if messages from the ground suggest that no, it's not possible to do that. So it's a dynamic situation. Now, the Election Commission itself is a proxy for the government. It is the government that's going to decide ultimately. The Election Commission has allowed itself to be emasculated to such an extent.
Anshul Avijit, that allegation is constantly made by all the opposition parties about the Election Commission, that it is not acting independently. But the Election Commission did speak to various political parties in Uttar Pradesh. What was the feedback the political parties gave to them? They had the opportunity to, at that point, tell the EC that, look, stop these rallies. We are all willing to pitch in because the situation is not good.
We've already done that, Maha. We have stopped the rallies. We expressed our grave apprehensions to the Election Commission about the the spread of the virus. The thing is that Election Commission does not decide. It has no sovereign independent authority to decide on its own, because last year, if you remember, that is the only template we have. Last year, they went in for an 8-phase election, which prompted the Madras High Court to say that, listen, you guys are nothing but murderers. I didn't say that. That was said by the Madras High Court. So now we have to wait. It's true that the Election Commission only becomes the appellate authority once the schedule of the election is announced, but it has all the authority in the world to determine the nature of the elections. What we have said is that the democratic cycle must continue, but the nature of the elections, the SOPs that must be followed, the protocol that must be followed is to be decided by the Election Commission. They can determine the nature of the rallies. They can say that, who is supposed to come, who's not supposed to come, and that can only be done by the Election Commission.
Okay. All right. Anshul Avijit, while you are talking constantly about the Election Commission having not stepped up and also saying that the Congress has given up on the rallies now, we are running some pictures there of what happened in Bareilly. Yes, you've taken a call. That is good, but only after such incidents have taken place. I'll come back to you. Let me go across to Ghanshyam Tiwari, who's joining us now. Ghanshyam Tiwari, a similar question to you. Do you think the Election Commission should have taken this decision on a protocol for campaigning quickly, and that would have given a level playing field to all parties from the word go for the campaigning.
Good evening, Maha, to you, the viewers, and my fellow co-panelists, and a very happy New Year to everyone. I think that I was educated by former election commissioner, Chief Election Commissioner S.Y. Qureshi, that election commission, more than the election commission, right now is the opportunity for National Disaster Management Authority to be the organization for the country who takes up the protocol with respect to COVID response.
Okay.
Election Commission comes in the day election gets announced, and that is when Election Commission comes in as an institution. Then the question is that who heads the NDMA? The NDMA is headed by the Prime Minister himself. Where is the Prime Minister? The Prime Minister was in Punjab yesterday, where he expected massive crowds, but there was nobody, and as a result he turned back, and then there's all the hoopla that is playing out. But the reality is the Prime Minister of India does not want rallies to stop. And if the Prime Minister does not want rallies to stop as head of National Disaster Management Authority, given how stymied the institutions in this country has been under Modi government, I don't expect Election Commission to pitch in.
But Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has already cancelled one of his rallies, hasn't he? And Shaina NC just told us that another big rally planned by the Prime Minister has also been called off in Uttar Pradesh.
Just this parliament session, when the Prime Minister did not attend the parliament session, the parliamentary committee requested NDMA to frame the COVID protocols for the entire country. When was the last meeting of NDMA held? And as far as Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister is concerned, for all practical purposes, Prime Minister of India gets up every day and by evening he's Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh in acting, because he's attending all those rallies. So no matter what we discuss, unless the Prime Minister of India decides that rallies must stop, rallies will not stop, because this is not a democratic model of decision making that he pursues.
Let Shaina NC respond to those charges that you've made. Shaina, go ahead.
Maha, firstly, let me please say that the Prime Minister of India is not an individual. He is an institution. So for all the opposition that goes on and on about Punjab, maybe they should do a rethink and comment very appropriately, because this is the office of the Prime Minister. Now, if they have so much apathy and so much of disdain and anxiety and insecurity when the Honorable Prime Minister campaigns, let me please say that's well within their right to do so, because he is clearly the most popular Prime Minister ever. But whether he goes for a rally or not, his popularity is not fading. And we are not an irresponsible political party. The Election Commission's guidelines will be adhered to by all responsible political parties. So for those who are constantly commenting that, oh, the Election Commission will only do what the Bharatiya Janata Party wants to do, please tell me why
Shaina,
the Election
the point
Commission
is being made
by
by
political party,
point being made by Vijay Shankar Pandey, Shaina.
Every single political party's opinion has been considered, and obviously the decision is to be announced.
Okay, but Vijay Shankar Pandey just pointed out, Shaina, just hear me out.
The Prime Minister's popularity, then please continue to sit and critique and let the electorate and the public decide.
Just hear me out. Vijay Shankar Pandey just pointed out that the Election Commission can take a call only when the Model Code of Conduct kicks in. So they couldn't have taken a call, according to him, on campaigning before the dates for elections are announced.
Look, Maha, that's the technicality. We are here debating as to whether the anxiety of certain parties that the Prime Minister is campaigning relentlessly in Uttar Pradesh. Why shouldn't he? He is the leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the leader of the people of this nation. Where he chooses to go and how he chooses to address the responsible citizens of India, he is well within his right to do so.
Okay,
but at the same time, if there are guidelines which come into force, which will be in the next week or so, then I think that every political party has to adhere to it and change their dynamics, change their ways of campaigning, whether it's virtual, whether it's trying to mobilize cadre telephone calls or be connected in other ways, which we have not always done. But that is not something we are shuddering away from.
All right.
As I said in the beginning of the show, Jaan hai to jahan hai, we have to understand, and citizens also need to understand. Karyakartas of all political parties need to understand This is not a one-upmanship as to which political party had more people at their rallies.
All right.
This is which had least and which has been the most sensible in
digital
trying to
campaigns,
save the lives of citizens.
Can digital campaigns take over? And in a democracy like India, with a huge rural population, will it be a fair mode of campaigning? Indrajit, I want to come back to you, sir. ये बताइए सर कि क्या जो रूरल वोटर बेस है उस तक पहुंचने के लिए जो हम डिजिटल कैंपेनिंग की बात कर रहे हैं वो एक डिसएडवांटेज होगा उन पार्टीज के लिए जिनका लार्ज रूरल वोटर बेस है?
देखिए मैडम जी, मैं आपको बताऊं कि सरकार को तो जहां पे यूपी स्टेट बीजेपी की सरकार है उनको तो 5.25 साल मिले हैं। पंजाब में तो ठीक है कांग्रेस की है, लेकिन यूपी में 5.25 साल इनको मिले हैं, अदर स्टेट में मिले हैं। चैलेंज तो उनके लिए होना चाहिए जिनकी सरकार नहीं थी, उनको अपने बारे में बताना है कि हम आगे क्या करेंगे। लेकिन सबसे पहले जान है। मैं तो कह रहा हूं जैसे कल आचार संहिता जो पता लग रहा सूत्रों के हवाले, कल आचार संहिता लगने वाली है। आचार संहिता के साथ चुनाव आयोग और कोर्ट साथ में सम्मिलित होकर एक आदेश करे कि आपके साथ।
इंद्रजीत जी, बात यहाँ पे ये हो रही है कि अगर बड़ी रैलियां बंद कर दी गई तो किस तरह कैंपेनिंग करी जाएगी? क्या डिजिटल मोड इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है? और अगर किया जाएगा तो क्या उसमें जो ग्रामीण वोटर हैं वो पीछे रह जाएंगे, उन तक मैसेज नहीं पहुंच पाएगा पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का?
नहीं, मैं आपको बताऊं, इस टाइम सब लोग अवेयर हो चुके हैं, सबको मालूम है, सब मन बना चुके हैं कि हमें वोट कहाँ करना है। पिछले 5 साल की जो गवर्नमेंट की काम को देख चुके हैं, फिर क्या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के काम को जनता देख चुकी है। उनको सब पता लग गया है कि महंगाई कहाँ जा रही है, डीजल कहाँ जा रहा है, खाद के तेल कहाँ जा रहे हैं, सब्जी के रेट कहाँ जा रहे हैं।
आपके हिसाब से तो फिर कैंपेनिंग की जरूरत ही नहीं है। घनश्याम तिवारी, I want to come to you now. Do you believe that there is certainly a rural-urban divide, and in that divide, only digital campaigning might not help? Do you think it's time then for door-to-door campaigning?
Well, 3 things. One is that Prime Minister was extremely popular in the empty 70,000 chairs in Firozpur. That's one. Second is that there's only one man competing to be the most popular Prime Minister ever. That is Mr. Narendra Modi. And he's competing against a lot of Prime Ministers who are no more amongst us. So as far as rallies is concerned, the Prime Minister should determine. For 5 years, this government has spent thousands of crores on its own advertisement. Is that not enough? Do people not know already that it has resulted in massive unemployment, massive price rise? As Samajwadi Party is concerned, we believe BJP is at a huge disadvantage.
I'm talking about your party. Do you believe that digital campaigning will help you, or would you want door-to-door campaigning, some innovative alternatives that you all are thinking of?
Well, we believe that BJP is at a huge disadvantage because their entire campaign in Uttar Pradesh was supposed to be Ab Ki Baar Yogi Sarkar. For last 6 months, they brandished that campaign. And suddenly when Amit Shah ji came to Uttar Pradesh, he said, no, the campaign line is, if you want Mr. Modi to be elected in 2024, elect BJP in 2022. So they have to rehash the entire campaign. And the campaign is anchored around Prime Minister's rallies. If these mega rallies do not happen, the BJP has no hope in Uttar Pradesh.
But the BJP has never shied away from the fact that Prime Minister Modi, for them, is their biggest asset as far as campaigning is concerned. Let me just a second, Shaina, just a second. I want to go to Vijay Shankar Pandey. Sir, I want to ask you a similar question about the rural-urban divide. Do you think in a country like India, digital campaigning is possible? Is it fair? Is it democratic?
Maha, you have raised a very important question. You know, as far as our rural population is concerned, digital divide is so huge that this campaign will not work at all. You know, as very rightly pointed out by most of the speakers, that their leaders are the main contact person between the people and their party. The candidates are yet to be announced. The voter doesn't know who is going to be the candidate. Candidate gets hardly 12-13 days. That is the point of time. From that point of time, they have 12-13 days to go and do door-to-door campaign. They don't announce their candidates at all because of their various factors. I'm not going to go into those details. So the problem is, unless they have a face-to-face contact with people, their campaign will go to zero.
Okay, but sir, face-to-face campaign can be done by smaller groups going door-to-door. Anshula, Vijit, is that an option that the Congress party is looking at?
Well, certainly it is. He's already said it. You know, this digital campaign thing was done in the Bihar elections, just before the Bihar elections last year, in which lakhs of TV screens were given to BJP workers. And what happened? I mean, they barely made it across the finishing line. So it's not, of course, it creates a divide, but it does not mean that they, as a result of that, there will be automatic traction with the party that's giving a number of TV screens. You've tried it before. Last election in Bengal and the other places, it didn't happen because there was a free-for-all. But it did happen in Bihar, and it came to amounted to nothing. You know, it does create a digital divide.
You worry about your party opening its account. Don't worry about that.
All right. You are saying it does create a digital divide. Shaina, I see last 20 seconds left. I quickly want to ask you this question. Do you think that for an urban voter base, and the BJP does boast of a large urban voter base, it will be easier to contact them through digital campaigning and not the rural voters?
So, Maha, the fact is the fact that we have 11 crore committed BJP workers across the country, state after state, people who have tried to question our types of electoral practice or our campaigning styles or our various digital technology being used. The fact is, people of this country love Prime Minister Modi. In UP, clearly Mr. Yogi Adityanath as well. And this is going to be a mandate and a referendum on development.
Okay, we'll have to leave it at that, Shaina.
Reach out on that.
We'll have to leave it at that, Shaina. We have completely run out of time. Many thanks to all 5 of our panelists for joining us here on this discussion this evening. Taking a very quick break now.